We've been notified.
That's right.
Ooh.
Ooh, we're being recorded.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Hi guys, welcome back to JD Podcast / JD Streams. This is your host D and my co-host Jay.
Okay. That's right. You got it. Yeah. We are met today with our ever beloved recurring guest Aidan A.K.A. the movie Motel man movie Motel, however you want to describe it, or Aideen or Adrian or any of the other mispronunciations of his name.
Yeah.
Yep. And Joe, I think we have another lovely guest today.
That's true. We got another guest, and who behind you? Yeah. No, you. We got Sydney. She's from Burlington, my hometown. Represent. Yeah, and it's been like a very large minute since we've chatted or seen each other. This isn't the same as face to face, but it kind of is, you know? It's like, there's you, I see you. This is the first time I've seen your face, you know? Yeah.
It's like the next best thing.
Exactly. It's a good alternative, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, so how the heck do we even start this thing? I just want to start by saying, hey, how you been?
Good, really good. I feel like we should provide some context. So yeah, Joe and I haven't talked in I haven't seen you in like 6 years. We worked together at a shoe store.
That's
but
right.
Recently we reconnected over a shared loss, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
So dramatic.
Yeah.
I was actually at the shoe store we used to work at. I was trying to buy teacher shoes because I'm a new teacher, just graduated teachers college.
Is that a thing, teacher shoes? Yeah, first off, congratulations. But
Thank you.
I'm so uneducated in my shoe affairs. It's a good thing I wasn't working at the time that you were coming in to get those, because I'd be like, I don't even know that was a thing.
I think I was putting a lot of pressure on the shoes. I was like, it needs to be cool so the kids like me, but
right, okay, I got you.
Professional enough that the other teachers are like, okay, she knows what she's doing. And funny enough, I actually returned them today. So
they did not fit the bill. Oh no. Yeah.
What category were they losing in?
The shoes?
Right. Yeah. Where did they lose you?
I do.
Well, I was trying to find something like a little more masculine to like assert my dominance, but also look kind of hip. Now I'm second guessing. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait,
no,
what
but
if they were perfect? No.
They were basically like black Sperry's, which they looked great, but the like toe box was really long and it made me look like I have Kegels, which is fine, but I don't. So I felt like that was a little off.
You're tricking the kids. Yeah. You don't want to start off with a lie. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and they kind of hurt my feet. And I was like, you know what? No.
Well, you'll be, you stand a lot during the day. So that's not good.
Do they make a good noise? Like when you walk down the hallway, does it make a good noise? Like a good click?
No, but maybe that's what I need. So they know, like,
they know she's coming.
Right, exactly. That's the voice. That's the sound of authority. Yeah, just the footsteps. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, definitely call on the return, because especially if they're bothering you a little bit on the feet already, good call.
Forget about it. Yeah, for me, I'm always comfort over fashion, but at this, I honestly might say the idea of what they represent might be more important than the comfort. But either way, you return them. Yeah,
exactly.
They are
exactly. So
sometimes people don't want to. That's why they end up with having feet that are like really bad after work, because they went through the trouble of finding the shoe and then they found it wasn't just right, and then you get things.
Once you know the science of shoes, you start to realize a lot of back issues come from what you wear and stuff like that. It's a serious thing, right?
And I think working at a shoe store too, Joe probably knows this. I was like, how old was I? 19, early, no. Oh yeah, 19, around 19, like just 420 or early 20s. And I remember having to like, obviously pre-COVID. So I'm helping elderly ladies with shoes, and they're like, oh, like, dear, can you help me take my shoe off so I can try it on? Because they can't reach their feet. And I'm like, absolutely. I pull their shoe off. And I didn't know what a bunion was until that day. I don't even know what it was, but the feet, they can do some crazy things. And every time they'd be like, take care of your feet, young lady. So I'm like, I freaking will.
It's Scared Straight, the show. Yeah.
That'll work.
Do they have toes like this as well? Have they all like crossed all their toes over?
Yes. And literally like this, like Edward Scissorhands, but on feet.
That's scary. That's one of the things that I think we all understand this as like a general rule in society, is that men are a little, I mean, everybody's insecure in one way or another, but when it comes to guys, they're like really insecure because they got to be macho or whatever. So working in the men's department, which is where I was placed, nobody's asking me to help them with their shoes or anything, right? Like it doesn't matter how old they are. That's something I never experienced, but I just heard tales of in the women's department and in the kids, where it's just like sometimes you pop a shoe off and just powder explodes out when you do it. Like that's some people got really dry feet and it's oh my god, yeah. So I've heard horror stories that luckily I just completely went past. So yeah,
and I'm sure there's probably some like sometimes I hate to say it, there's probably some odor sometimes because of feet.
People go around the entire mall before coming to us and then say, now I'm going to try on shoes. Yeah. So they get them nice and sweaty. Yeah.
But like, it's so crazy though. Shoes are like really important. And like a lot of people just don't.
Everyone wants to cheap out, including me. I'm insane. Why do I have a mindset where I'm like, I want to get the cheapest shoe possible, but I also know that that's the one thing you don't cheap out on. I don't know.
I don't think you got to get the quality for it.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah. So I think more context is needed just because Sydney, we're having you on here and you're just hanging out with a bunch of randos. You don't know what's going on.
Yes.
So Darren and I, we're the co-hosts, and a super quick TLDR of our history knowing each other is that we met through a mutual online, met IRL. It was very fun. I think that was the first time I'd ever done that, where I just met somebody who I was introduced to online. So that was a very exciting experience. And I lived in Burlington at the time, and then they're in Hamilton, so it was very close. And we both shared a common fact about ourselves, that we were recovered alcoholics. And so we thought it would be interesting because we're both in the social media world and kind of about that life. And I had already started a podcast, that we should create a podcast series called the AAA. And that was the whole idea of it, is that we just talked about that. And then, and then that sort of evolved after we'd gone past like 12 episodes or whatever it was, doing the 12 steps. We were like, what else is there really to talk about? So we could have done a thing where we brought on guests and stuff, but we weren't as involved in the AA community as maybe other people were. So then, take it from here, Mr. Darren. How I'll let you take over part two.
Yeah. So I personally never went to AA, and then after meeting Joe, talking about basically all the steps and things like that was great. We need to figure out how to branch off and get to some real life issues. Not that those aren't real life issues, but more along
an evolution, branching out.
Yeah. And speaking of today, it's kind of hard because it's like the 29th or the September 1st is my official anniversary.
No kidding. So we actually were able to get you.
I'm 4 years sober today, basically.
Oh my God. Wow.
Congratulations.
Here I was. Yeah, congratulations. Like that's an amazing milestone, obviously. But here I was thinking that I was only a year behind you, but not really, because mine's in December. So I'm a year and a half behind.
But still,
it's aggravating. Hey, we're still, it's fine. It's not a competition or anything, but still. That's amazing. Congratulations. Amazing. So I still can only say 2 years, but it will be 3 in December. But
And we like a little break during COVID, and then from since then we've always been just doing a good podcast every week.
Yeah, and now it's we've rebranded. We now call it the Unplugged podcast, which is always ironic because we got plugs. I have Beats headphones, which is wireless, that I tried using, like setting this up, but they were glitching out on me, so I had to go back to the wired thing.
I have those, and the same thing. I remember using them during like house party when COVID first hit, and all of my friends
house party. Yeah, I know about that app. Yeah.
And they're like, you sound like you're underwater. I'm like, what? I don't know why. So I can't use them. So I got these.
Oh no,
it's unfortunate. Yeah. But So that's the two of us, Darren and I. That's our situation here. And then Aidan, I never knew why he didn't come on as a third co-host, but I guess it's better if there's a separation. That way he's not as tied down as maybe Darren and I are. But we love having him on, and he's been on a bunch, and and also I recently
guest.
You're the recurring guest. You're the recurring guest. And I just recently, now that that everyone's getting double vaxxed and everything, and the world's beginning to open up again, I had these two over for a little sleepover the other week, 2 weeks ago. And that was like the first time that we had done that. That was the first time we'd ever done that. But then also it was the first time that we're even able to spend that kind of time together since, before the world ended, as I like to say. Yeah.
Did you have a couch for them to sleep on? I listened to some of the podcasts, and one of them you were like still trying to get a couch. So I don't know how that turned out.
Oh, true. We got the couch. That's so good. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah. It's such a time capsule. Yeah. We had issues getting the couch, but we finally got it. And it's a pull-out, turns into a bed. Well, it's like a side pull-out. It's not like an entire bed, but it does a thing where there's enough room for two.
Yeah, it was comfortable.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's really
it
cool.
was okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Great space too. Your apartment's really cool and lovely. Like, it was a great time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Hey, I love your apartment too. I think it's great.
Really great. Thanks.
There was that secret room I didn't even know about. You guys have an entire other little mini bedroom. I was like, oh, now that I know that, I just want to sleep over now.
The closet under the stairs where Harry Potter
but it's big enough that you can put a bed there. So that's cool. I like that. Yeah. So now, Sydney, I got a question for you. So you're now, do you call it a registered or just graduated and ready for being a teacher? Or what do you call it?
Yes, I'm all, I guess certified is the word, because I have to go through Ontario College of Teachers and get my certificate, which finally came through the other day, because they have like really long processing time. So I'm like, I've been waiting and finally got an email. I'm like, yes. So I'm like, it's official.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
So now what do you get to choose, or do they throw you wherever? Like, are you specifically aiming for elementary school, high school?
Next.
A specific thing. I don't know. Yeah. What were you lying?
Yeah. So the way it works is usually you go to school for like a certain division. So there's like primary, junior intermediate, or like intermediate senior, which would be high school. I did primary junior just because I feel like I need to work my way up to the older kids, even though I've worked with older kids, but they're a different crowd than the younger ones.
That is true. You don't have to technically work up. You could just stay there. It depends on what you're, where what you enjoy or whatever. Yeah.
Kids are hard though.
Exactly. I know it is tough. So
everything's different. It's not like there's an easy one, I guess. Yeah.
I know, exactly. They'll have like pros and cons for sure. Yeah.
That's
nice.
Yeah, they're tough. It's just hard to kind of
get into. Yeah.
Exactly. So I had been applying to get on like supply lists and everything. And I was trying to stay in my area. Yeah, the first step. I was trying to stay in my area because I'm like, it just makes sense. But then I find in like where I was applying to, there wasn't as many postings, and I would look to like where my friends work or like other cities, and I'm like noticing all these postings. So I'm like, why not? It's like a 40-minute drive. So I started applying, and I actually got what's called an LTO. So it's like basically it's kind of like a supply teacher. In my case, it's a teacher's gone for a year, so I'm covering for him for the full year, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's just like a contract kind of a thing, contract work, where it's like you have a set time and then you take it from there.
Nice. That is cool.
Exactly.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever had a teacher like that growing up.
Maybe
I feel like I did once, or you never knew. Exactly. When you're in grade 3, grade 4, you don't know. Yeah, you just move on, and then that person disappears from that.
They were just gods. So
and you're like, whatever, just a teacher here.
Yeah. Exactly. But nice.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is, seriously.
It all happened so fast. I was like, okay, I had the interview. I had 2 interviews on the Wednesday, and then I went to get my hair cut and done. So I was there, and I got 2 missed calls from both of them. I was like, oh my gosh, they're probably calling to offer it to me, because I feel like you wouldn't call back like 2 hours later and be like, yeah, you didn't get it. So I was like,
exactly. You're like really excited to tell someone they didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just blowing up their phone, just bad news.
Yeah, like, we gotta tell you didn't make the cut.
Yeah, but that's amazing. Wait, so where are you going? Or I guess you don't have to give too many details, but
it'll be at a school in Brantford, so it'll be like a 40-ish.
Oh, so that is a distance, but I guess there's not a lot of traffic going in that direction. If it was going towards Toronto, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Maybe too bad, and it depends. You really, I mean, with everywhere, kind of, there's going to be traffic at certain times and things like that. But it's just really when you're up for it, all that stuff doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. 40 minutes, not bad. Like, as long I check the commute and it's not like a lot of stop and go, because that's where I get like frustrated for no good reason. Like, why am I sitting here?
Yeah.
So that's the good thing for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
And I have a new podcast I can listen to on the way there and back.
Right, exactly. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's my thing. Anytime I was like, especially when I was driving for a job, because I was a delivery driver for a couple jobs there. That's what got me into podcasts in the first place. I always knew they existed, but I never really listened until I had nothing but listening to the radio constantly. And I was like, they keep repeating themselves every half an hour. I keep hearing the same news. I'm like getting sick of it. So I'm like, I got to get into something else. So then I got into podcasting. And then by 2018, I was like, I could do this. Sure. So then I had to learn about RSS feeds and all that nonsense and like how to properly get it out into the world and yada, yada. Here we are. Now it's been 3 years. Yeah. So it's good.
Wow.
But
it's pretty good.
So
Joe, you've been
yeah.
Kudos. Because when I remember, I was a guest on your podcast. Remember?
That was kind of the beginning. Is I jumped you on. We like met to have coffee, did an interview with you on a later day, and then we were like, let's just forget and make a podcast together. Yeah. Here we are, still going strong.
Look at that. I love to see it. Even through a pandemic.
Right? Yeah, exactly. We did take a hiatus for like 4 months, and then we're like, what do we gotta get back into it? Like, this isn't gonna end. We thought it was gonna be this 2-week thing or a month or whatever, and it just kept going. So yeah.
The world was, who knew? Like, right? It's just so crazy how even like to think of it, how we're here now, where it's like, can you believe that's
still going? Also, I guess somber news, folks, but I was hearing it on the radio is that the fourth wave has officially begun. They're saying because it was talks of like
cases going on.
Yeah, and tomorrow. So we're recording this on Monday. This is releasing on Friday, so this will by then be old news. But tomorrow, Ontario is announcing what they're going to do as far as vaccine passports go. So that is something that's going to be talked about and put into some kind of action soon.
Yeah, because they've started releasing news about certainly like more government jobs are requiring all their staff to be vaccinated. Yep. I think it was Hamilton Police are saying all their staff has to be vaccinated. And then is it all teachers or is it just a certain school board requesting it?
From what I know, because I haven't heard anything, and I'm asking my friends, like, do you guys know? I think it's board specific, but I think the general consensus is you have to have both vaccines, and if you don't, for whatever reason, even if it's like an exemption or you just don't want to, you have to get rapid tested. I think very often and prove that you're negative. Yeah,
that makes sense.
If you choose the having option, that's what I did read.
Yeah, that's
so I think
interesting.
Right for most places, right? Like especially like this year, like jobs involving like other people's lives.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a thing for nurses. It's a thing for teachers. It's a thing whenever you're in contact with
other people.
At least more than one person, like restaurants, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it makes sense. Yeah. Well, I think that was a big push for Toronto too. Was like, we want our restaurants. You will not take our restaurants from us. So like, let's do anything it takes to not have that go away again. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Man, that's too
see what happens. But okay, so there was one other kind of topical thing that I wanted to talk about. But first, this is something that I don't know, Sydney, if you were still there, or no. Were you at the shoe company longer than me?
I don't think so. I know I left for school, so I left like probably end of probably about this time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school now.
Yeah, that's right. And then I left not related to school, but I think near the end of September or something. So it wasn't too shortly after you. But so you can say if you already heard the story, but one time when I was working, these two guys show up and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, what are you guys just doing a browse or looking for anything in particular I could help you with? And they were like, hey, I think we'll take a browse for a bit, but thanks for the opportunity. That's and then they're doing something. They're like, that's some great initiative, like coming up and like kind of boosting me up. I was like, oh, that's great. And these guys are like maybe 30 or something, like young adults kind of a thing, right? And they're walking around for a bit, and then they come back and they're like, yeah, I think I might go for these shoes. What do you think? Do you think these are good? I'm like, oh yeah. And then we start giving off the stats about them. They're like, wow, you're really smart. You really know your stuff. You're doing a good job here. I'm like, oh, thanks so much, guys. Geez, you're gonna make me blush. And they're like, hey, how much do you make here? It's okay if you don't want to tell us. I know this person. I'm like, yeah, just standard wage, like nothing special. Why do you ask? And they're just, like, are you guys looking for a job? And they're like, how would you like to make $17,000 in just 6 weeks? And I was like, oh, I don't. How does something like that work? And they were just like, my buddy here, he's from the military in Jordan, and this guy, he knows his stuff. He's a hot player. He likes living life on the edge. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, and since being in Canada, he started working for this one company where all you have to do is sell like a certain number of life insurance, and then you start building up a royalty revenue or some insane thing, right?
Oh.
So very obvious red flags. However, I was young. I didn't watch a lot of Shark Tank, so I didn't know a lot about pyramid schemes and multimedia marketing. And I was like, that sounds incredible. Count me in. Oh my God. I was like, I mean, I don't, I want to give my 2-week notice here at least if I'm going to leave. But I mean, if you guys are offering me a job right now, like
went on the spot, like
no, I was like, I'd love to talk more about it. If, I mean, I'm working on my shift, but here's my number. And they're like, great. And then so they're like, hey, so we're going to play some soccer ball or whatever that game's called, where you put yourself in a giant bubble and you play soccer.
Bubble soccer. Yeah.
Bubble soccer. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to play. Try to grab like 5 or 6 of your friends and then like meet us at the place, and like we'll pay for you guys, no problem. I was like, that sounds amazing. So like go over to my friend Pat, who's working at Canadian Tire, just like on the other side of the parking lot. I'm like, hey Pat, I just met these 2 incredible guys and like they're gonna play some bubble soccer. I don't know if you're down. I'm trying to round up as many people as I can. He's like, dude, you mean those 2 guys who like look like they were 30 or something? I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? He's like, it's a pyramid scheme, dude. I was like, oh no, I totally fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. He's like, yeah, you just got to call them off. You just got to tell them no or something. I was like, oh my God. Like, I felt so embarrassed. I was like, here I was thinking I was like, at least semi-intelligent, but I just totally fell for that.
That story could have gone any direction, to be fair. That could have been.
Yes, I could have just fully gone into it, and then he would have taken me to Jordan, and I would have gone to the military. Like, who knows, It was
some bubble soccer cult or something.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where they operate, in the bubbles, constantly doing stuff. But yeah, so it didn't go any further than me just having to like ignore 20 of their calls and then text them saying, please don't call me, go away. Just it was very unfortunate.
So basically you signed up to do Arbonne.
I guess, I don't know. Yeah.
Heard of that.
It's like, I think it's basically, is that right? Arbonne? I think it's basically like a new, like Avon, like that kind of vibe, like Mary Kay.
Yeah. Very, very dangerous, but seeming friendly and bubbly. Yeah. And they always go for the young guys, I feel like. That's like a stereotype. It's either that or the stay-at-home moms. It's like one or the two. Any multi-level marketing know their demographics. They're like, these are the 2 that want cash fast now. And they know how to get it. Yeah.
Okay, get this. So there's this one girl, right, that does that. And I just remember, always just remember that like social media, it's not what it appears to be. Anyways, I just remember
Russians everywhere.
Hey, she was doing this, and you know how it's like they have that aesthetic where it's like everything's kind of like tanny and like, okay, you like have flowers and like you take pictures like of your tea and things like that. Love the aesthetic, so cool. I'm like, this girl's killing it. Boom, boom, boom. Like, she's now doing this and like, okay, she's moving up the ladder.
Okay, she's done it. Yeah.
I know it. And moving up the ladder. Now she's VIP. Now she's like in this category. They're going on vacations. Literally like 2 weeks ago, I saw her Instagram and she was like asking for people to like apply at her Jackass stores because she's like the manager. I was like, wait, aren't you making a whole bunch of thousands on this air thing? Right, air bond? Yeah. Where it's like, I think it's all just like a lot. It's all just, it's like one person.
It's presentation.
Yeah, like one person probably making tons of money, and everyone else is just like literally.
They're clasping at the empty dreams. Yeah, it's all about the idea of you could be the next whoever, the next millionaire, and so they all go for it.
Yeah, because it's like this girl was doing it for quite some time, so I'm thinking like at least now she should be like
at least doing good
job.
But no,
going on.
She needs a regular job. Yeah. It's a tragic tale of the American dream being manipulated and used against us.
There was one in my hometown, Joe, and it was called Juice Plus, and it was
Did
a
it
supplement.
have anything to do with that? Oh, it was supplements. Okay.
It was supplements, but it was a pyramid scheme, and it was supplements where it had like all the vitamins, all the proteins, and and you bought, I don't know, weekly or monthly subscriptions, and you got all the powders and all the pills and supplements and whatever. But I knew about 10 people.
Okay,
I knew about 10 people that were all doing it in our town and village. So it's like who's benefiting from this pyramid scheme if everyone's selling it? Like
the population's done. There's no one else. Yeah, that's funny. Very quickly ran out of people. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It's too good.
It's like when I'd have to sell candy or like whatever for soccer, and there'd be like another soccer team at the other entrance at the grocery store, and you're like, Okay, we gotta step up our game, guys.
Yeah, what do we do? What do we do? There's only so many grocery stores. Yeah, that's funny. I never did that. I never did any like Boy Scouts or anything like that, or any kind of fundraising in general. Oh wait, sorry. Except for when I was a teenager, I was 16 or 17, and there was this thing called Think Fast at my high school. It's Catholic high school, and it had something to do with religion. I don't know. It was a Good Shepherd thing where you try to raise money, and then you need like a minimum, like $60 or something raised, but the sky's the limit of how much you want to try to raise. And then you give it to the school, and then you fast for a day, and you just hang out, and you sleep over in the high school. It's very cool. And I ended up doing it every year. I don't know why. None of my friends did it. I was alone every time. But except for the last year, I think. Then one of my friends did it with me because he's like, "What is this thing you're always doing every year?" I was like, "I don't know. I just like to live life on the extreme, so I fast for a day."
Is that like 30-hour famine kind of idea?
I don't know what that is, but it sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like. Yeah,
maybe I don't know if they
you're allowed to drink water
anymore.
Yeah. True, but yeah, it was interesting, and me and my friend ended up. Wow. Okay, I don't know if this is a crime that I'm admitting to right now, but it happened so long ago. Maybe I'm safe. But my friend and I, as minors, went door to door, and we were extremely successful. So we didn't take part in it, but the two of us ended up raising a lot of money. I forget what. It was over $100. Like it was a good amount of money, and we gave them the minimum and then kept the rest. So that was yeah. And then we used it on like alcohol and cigarettes.
That's called embezzling.
Yeah, and we used it. Yeah. Oops. Wait, no. I didn't pay taxes yet.
FBI, move in. We've got him. He's
the confession. Oh no.
I'm confused. So wait, you're supposed to. How do you get extra money though? I'm confused. So you're selling chocolate.
No. You're not. You're just asking for donations. You're literally like a missionary. You're literally just going door to door saying, "Hi there, I'm here for the Think Fast Foundation at Assumption High School, and I want to know, if you'd like to donate to the cause. Here's like a thing to show that it's official because I have this printed out sheet, and then you put the name on it and the amount that they give. So it's official. Yeah. So I give them nothing. They just have to believe in my word, and there's just you go door to door, and just
but how do you
sinful?
Though? How do you keep the money?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, okay, so they filled out the sheet, but they give us more than one sheet. So you just make a new sheet and just forge the signatures leading up to $60 and give them because it's all in cash, and then you just keep the rest. And then the school doesn't know that you raised any more than the $60.
Wow.
So I know I was a straight up criminal. It's not like I did it all the time. I didn't create my own criminal enterprise, but for this specific. And I think I only did it 1 year, but I did that. So
yeah, just putting that $40 that you managed to earn away.
No. It was like 100. It was like $160, and we gave them 60.
Wow.
Like, we made good money, and we put it all to alcohol and cigarettes. It all went to vices. It was all a vice trip. Yeah, because there was like this one convenience store that gave cigarettes. But
you fasted as well, right? So you fasted, and then blew it all on.
And then the following weekend, we just went wild. Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah.
This is all coming back 20
years. This recording will go down as what takes me out when I'm like 35 or 40 or something. Yeah, this will be on Twitter, this exact clip. So all I can say is I'm sorry, and I think I'm safe because enough years have passed, but maybe not. I don't know how the Canadian laws work when it comes to embezzlement. But I wasn't paying taxes yet. I did. Wait, the Roman Catholic Church might come for me. That's true.
Yeah,
the priests. Yeah, they'll send the priests with the maces, like the Black Ages or the Dark Ages priests. Like the Crusaders. They'll come for me. Ironically enough, that was our school mascot. We were the Assumption Crusaders. So
wow,
that's not good. Yeah, thinking about that's kind of scary.
But I was a Gator.
You were a Gator?
Oh, Gator.
What school was that? I think I knew the Gators.
Called the Gibson Gators.
Was that on the Burlington side of Hamilton or the other side? Or were you from Burlington? I forget.
Your childhood. No, from Hamilton.
Okay, side. Yeah, it was from Hamilton. Yeah.
But it was like a small school that didn't go that high. It went to like grade 5. Yeah, it went to grade 5. True. To like another school. So it was just like a small little school. Like it was so small.
Small part of your life was a Gator. Yeah. You still hold on to that identity though. I'm a Gator for life. Yeah.
Gators for life.
Gators for life. Yeah, that was only 3 years of my childhood, but I'll still hold on to it. Yeah, nice. So I
wanted to just mention other thing, because I was thinking about it prior, how Sid has this like 1 year contract. It's kind of like bittersweet. Would it be kind of bittersweet? Because it's like you want to kind of like get to know the kids a little bit, right? And then they go, and then it's like I never see them ever again.
Well, isn't that teaching in general though? You learn everybody, and then they go away, and you don't teach them.
Yeah, but they're still in the school though. Like I would still see my teacher over and be like, hey, like, you know, it's not like you're gone.
That's true. Yeah, they're the recess supervisor or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I've had I've had 3 different teaching placements, and I didn't realize how hard that was until I did my first one in kindergarten, and I didn't even know if I would like kindergarten, because I'm like, how do you work with kids this age? Like they're so small. And I ended up loving it. Like I would still teach kindergarten to this day. Super fun. And then it was weird though, because my placement ended, but I was like, I can't like stop going. So on my day off, I had like Wednesdays off from my like my teachers college courses. So I'd go into the school for the full day, but then COVID hit and I didn't see them. I was like, see you guys after March break, have fun.
Oh no.
And that was it. I was like,
that was it.
And then I couldn't go back. Pardon?
Yeah. That's so sad.
Yeah, I know. And I couldn't go back because of COVID restrictions, like no visitors allowed in the school. Yeah. And it was like, so I talked to my teacher, like my mentor teacher over on Facebook, but I'm like, oh, I missed that class. Yeah. Every time at the end of the placement, it's so hard. And I'm not a very like emotional person. Like I don't, I like cry 6 times a year, maybe 4 to 6 on average.
Okay.
If I had to count, like it's not that I don't get sad. I'm just not someone who cries.
You're not
but
emotive.
Every time I pull out of the parking lot and I'm like biting my lip as a tear rolls down my cheek, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, everybody remembers their first of anything, right? Like that is always the most impactful thing, whether it's a job or a relationship or whatever, right? You always remember the first. So it's like those will always be your kindergarten kids that you taught.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's where it's like that's a little rough. Like I can see that could be a little challenging until you actually get like a full placement somewhere, right? And even too, like, with not only just with the kids, even like with the teachers, you may like bond with some of them more than, you know, at a different place, and like that's like even makes things even better, because then it's like you're even making friends.
Yes, and I got something to say about that. Darren and Aidan and everyone, I don't know if you guys know this, but both my parents are high school teachers. My dad is now retired, but it's I'm like thinking about that as you're saying that, how it's like, the whatever, you know, how they bond. But then like it's, and I don't know if I've shared this on this podcast, but I'm open to talking about it and stuff, where my dad literally, like my mom just taught at Assumption and she's still teaching there to this day. And so I don't know what the stipulations are of how you can become a teacher that stays in one place or one that moves. But my dad, who they both took school at the exact same time, they're both the same age, they started teaching at the same time, but he moves around. So he was like at Laurier and then Assumption and then Notre Dame. And now he's going to Corpus Christi. Before he retired, that was his last school. And what does he do but make a very, very good friend with a coworker at Corpus Christi? And away he went, you know? He was like, screw all my kids and my family and everything. I'm going to go get whisked away into the stupid relationship with someone who's closer to my son's age than mine. So some BS. You know, never forget that. But listen, everybody's allowed making friends, and every industry has places that can cause affairs. But you wouldn't think about it with teachers. Do you think teachers are so wholesome? But no, they can.
I know they
can be sons of guns too. They're sneaky. Well, not I wouldn't stereotype all teachers, but I think my mom's great, and I think you're great. But my dad, not so great, and the woman he got with, not so great. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he teach, Joe? Was it
business?
Specific? Interesting.
Yeah. So he only taught grades 11 and 12, I think. It's one of those like electives that you take. Or maybe it started in grade 10, but like it's not something that you take, you know,
in my
your career.
I think it started in grade 11 because I took it grade 11. I think, I took it grade 11.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's a specialized course. Yeah. But his main thing was coaching. He was he was like a father to those kids. There's throughout Burlington, everywhere I go, my dentist, a random person I'm behind in a line, anywhere where they hear Van Lansky, they go, "Oh, are you Carl's son?" And I have to go, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, he was the best teacher ever. I love that guy. Like you're lucky to have him as a dad." I'm like, well, that's the thing. He was great to you. He's great to the students. He was not a good father, unfortunately. He was absent or abusive. So well, not to get too crazy into it, but
Joe. That's like
it is straight out of a movie, unfortunately.
Was he the football coach?
Yep. Football,
Yep.
hockey,
Yeah.
girls soccer. He did tons, so many sports. And he was great to those people. He loved sports and he loved sports players. I was kind of a effeminate guy. I liked art and I didn't want to play sports. I just wanted to be, do my own thing. And he did not like that. And so I was like the black sheep because I got two other brothers and both of them played sports. So he just was a father to other people, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, this is a total sidetrack.
I have a follow-up story to that. I remember it was something that you said one time, Joe, about this whole situation and just like your way of coping with it. But it made me laugh, and still to this day, I think about it.
What is it?
I think one night when we were working there's a point where like you went to go travel somewhere for a little bit. I can't remember where. Did you go to Europe?
Yeah, Belgium. To visit my family, the Van Lanskoots. Yeah.
Yes. Oh. And I remember it was like the last shift working with you before you left. And you're like, yep, off I go. And jokingly, obviously, but you're like, yep, I'm going to go embark and find my new dad and bring him back.
Yeah. Because that was fresh. I think he left at like in the summer of 2014 or something. That was like right when he left. And we didn't know it was because of a woman at that time. We thought he was having a midlife crisis. Like he just kind of packed his bags secretly and left. And we were like, oh, I guess dad's gone. Yeah.
A little sneak.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny. You still remember that to this day. That's funny. Yeah.
Yes, because I have a lot of my friends say like similar things about some like family situations they go through, and every time it always reminds me of you. Like, I'm gonna find my dad, like a new.
I'm just gonna go out there and find a new puppy. Yeah. Funnily enough, I think that's kind of what it did with my girlfriend's dad. It's like he's my new father figure. I just kind of, if anything, that's a kind of segue into talking about that. But I just came back yesterday from being gone in New Brunswick for a week, and I'd never been to the East Coast, so that was kind of a fun experience. But I guess before I get into that, Darren and Aidan, you guys said that you just went somewhere last weekend. You had a little
Kingston.
No, this weekend.
So just gone. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so explain, please.
The Kingston like Battersea. It's like on a nice lake. One of my best friends live on the lake.
Oh,
and
nice.
They have really nice accommodations for us. So we went and stayed. It was really, really great. Weather was amazing, as opposed to this humidity that we've been having for this past like few weeks / almost a month now. It seems. I don't know.
Oh yeah, all summer. Yeah.
So yeah, no complaints. Great. I caught a really huge pike. I mean, it wasn't huge, but they said this is the biggest fish they caught on the lake there. So it's like, hey.
Wow, that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was probably like 2 feet.
But it's
nice.
2 foot pike, I guess.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Fish. Yeah.
Well, you go like this. It's one of those things. It was this big.
It's like 2 feet.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
I love fishing.
That's wild. You're a fisher. I don't know if I knew that about you. Yeah.
Were you guys like boating fishing or just like fishing off a dock?
Off the dock, yeah.
Off the dock, yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't really like going on the boat because they give us the option to do that, and we've done it before, but I don't know what it is. I don't like the constant like teeter-tottering and like
sure.
Yeah, adds an element of stress trying to reel it in, and you're like
it's like it's just so
dance with it. Yeah.
Sometimes on the dock when boats go by, you'll get that like after the waves kind of settle, you'll get that little like, and even then I feel a little nauseous. So I think I might have a little like
you got motion sickness, seasickness.
Yeah, I think I have.
It was a very busy lake. There was a lot of people going with speedboats and stuff, making big wakes. So I don't think it would have been as fun in a boat.
I can cast pretty far from the dock, which is great, and it's nice and deep. So yeah, it's lovely. It's really, really nice. And then Aidan went kayaking and stuff. It was good.
Nice. Yeah. How was that? Have you done a lot of kayaking? Because I feel like that's a Canadian specific thing.
It was an option in high school. So I did it very briefly in high school.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But then it abruptly came to an end because someone broke into the school. Oh no, it wasn't the kayaks they stole. Sorry,
they stole the computers. I think
that was a different. Our school got broken into a few times.
Jeez,
the kayaks didn't get stolen, but the trailer broke that they would tow the kayaks to the lake so we could do it. So that broke, so we couldn't do kayaking anymore. But we also did like mountain biking was an option.
Okay.
And those got
cool.
stolen. someone
Oh
broke
my
to school and
gosh.
stole all the mountain bikes.
Where did you grow up? Where was this? Was this near a city? Like where was the high school? Just in a village?
It's suburbs, but
Okay.
just just
Bunch
there's
of
lots
rascals.
a lot of
The
rascals.
same
lots of
people who were part of the pyramid
scoundrels.
scheme. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
those
guys
people.
juicing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Juice Plus people. They were.
Yeah,
they
it must have been. It must have been them.
Lost.
Scheming.
Stole it.
That's
Yeah,
your
that's
schemer.
funny.
But Darren was mentioning the computers got stolen. That was one year our school got a grant to buy brand new Apple Macs for the media room, for the media classroom.
Yeah.
So they got 10 Apple Mac computers, new cameras, and just a bunch of stuff for media studies, right? Green screens and microphones and things like that.
Yeah.
And then within a week, there was a break-in, all of it gone. Just cleared out.
Oh boy, man.
Someone
It wasn't
pissed
one
them
of the
off.
students, it was one of the students' older brothers.
Yeah.
Got his
That's
gang
exactly
together.
what. Yeah, they went home. They told their dad, "Oh, they've got all these new computers," and then he tells his friend, "Yeah."
I
It was a
don't-
computer heist.
I don't think growing up, anything like crazy like that has happened in my school. Sydney, has anything like that happened in the time that you've been teaching? Have you heard any oh, actually, you know what? I'm lying. One of my English teachers in high school, sex offender, in the news, everything.
Oh my god. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Oh, that
That
actually
is
happened in my
crazy.
elementary school too. When I was a student, but
Wow.
yeah, and they make it like public knowledge. That's kind of like the consequence. It's like everyone will know.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way to do it.
Forever.
You know, that's what they should have done with
Right.
the priests instead of hide it, right? If you're a sex offender, people ought to know.
And he was like trying to get with like students and things like that. It was like I couldn't believe it because you see this. It's like there's no way this is like.
This
And
guy's
by
so
the-
nice. Yeah, that's how it usually is.
Wow, that's a hit. That's a blow.
That is a blow.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
They put it like they instill it into you too in teachers college. So it's almost like harsh sometimes the things they were saying. I had a class that was all about law and like it would give us like real situations that happen with teachers and how they were like punished or dealt with. But some of them are so crazy. Like some of them are obvious. One of them was like they went on a camping field trip and the teacher let them go on a nighttime hike on their own. Someone got hurt. Obviously that's a no. But then there's other things like, I think it was a teacher entered like a photo shoot that was a little more promiscuous. And it wasn't anything linked to the school, but like I think someone in the school board and a superintendent or something saw it and realized she worked in the school board and she got in trouble for it because they're like, you can't do that. You're like, as a teacher at a higher standard, you can't put those things out.
So it's like being an athlete. They're like, you have to be a role model too. Yeah.
Yeah, at all times, which I get. I mean, I wouldn't want any of my students to see me like in anything
in
but teacher
any
clothes.
way other than professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Just wait till you get those new shoes, Sydney.
Yeah, I know. I'll be going.
Yeah.
Whatever they look like.
Yeah.
Just wearing Doc Martens to school.
I know.
Yeah,
I was
sure,
actually
yeah.
looking at some today. I was like, no.
Just in case you need to just kick a kid every now and then. Hey, stop,
Oh my God.
stop misbehaving.
Oh my gosh.
My walking
It's
boots.
either that or Crocs, you know? There's two types of teachers. The
What's
Doc
wrong with
Martens and the
Crocs?
Crocs. Yeah.
I do have some Croc slides with about like 10 gibbets.
You're wearing Crocs right
altogether.
now, Aiden?
Of
my
course.
gosh.
Oh, nice. Are
I have
Well,
slippers
so, okay.
on, you know? You
So
want
as
indoor
you
shoe
two are
slippers.
ex-shoe sales people,
Oh, no,
what are your thoughts on
wearing
Crocs?
I've never known so many people to wear Crocs
Oh
before
my
until
God, we're
now.
all wearing slides.
Okay, yeah, that's at least an appropriate slide, you know?
These are my
Hello.
Dollarama
I just got my little
special.
house slippers. You guys don't have house slippers?
These are my house slippers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, there you go.
These are my house
Nice.
slippers.
Just slip them
Dang,
on.
you guys all just beat me out. You got the rubber, I got the fluff.
Yeah.
I'm
Actually, that's
outdated.
fine.
I'm like in the 70s right here. Yeah.
So do you guys always wear mostly wear shoes when you're inside in your own home too?
only
Yeah.
like indoor shoes, like slippers
Aiden-
or slides.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
absolutely.
not like outside shoes.
Oh, never.
Absolutely not.
Never. That only monsters do that.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a conversation about this, didn't we, Aiden?
I
Yeah,
hate it.
on one
I
of
hate
the
people
podcasts
who
we were on.
do
Yeah.
that.
It was a
Yeah.
huge thing. We're like, anyone who does that is a monster. And you got some
Yeah.
replies from people on Reddit, being like,
oh, really?
yeah, I do it and I'm proud of it, and you should be ashamed for not doing it. It's like, no, you're on the wrong side of history right now, man. Like,
Many people are
yeah. There was,
what if there's like my dishes are breaking? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you so reckless, people?
Yeah, you should need something more than shoes at that point. You need something else, man. Yeah.
It's like there's glass on my floor.
I put it as a question on Reddit, Sydney. Are you familiar with Reddit?
Yes. Oh, I spiraled on Reddit.
I posted it.
Reddit roll.
I posted like people who wear shoes in the house, why do you do this kind of thing? And so many people took that as like a direct attack on them.
Yeah.
Well, it's my right to wear shoes in the house. But a few people, and I'm not saying that they're American, but they're probably American, were very much like, well, if there's an emergency, then I have my shoes on already and I can just leave the house real quick if there's a fire or if
you can't leave without shoes.
Or what if you're in the shower?
Right. Yeah. Keep those shoes on.
Right.
Socks
or
too.
Asleep.
Laces tight.
Can you imagine the stress if they're like, if your house is on fire and you can't find your shoes, so you can't leave, so you just
stay there. Yeah. You're like, I gotta find out what to do here.
That's like The Sims.
Yeah, that's a Sims thing. Yeah, being like, bogala, and just constantly looking until they go. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Inside slippers, though, I think are very necessary. Like, it is what it is. People.
But I will say this: my entire life growing up, nothing. Socks or bare feet all the way inside. Yeah. And then it wasn't until I was 23, 24, that kind of a thing, where I was like, I need to put slippers on because my feet are always cold. And I've just lived with it. I just thought that was a normal thing that humanity deals with. But turns out, no, a lot of people don't deal with it. And I don't know if a lot of people have cold feet or if that's a specific thing for me, but the vents are always at ground level, right? So that's something where it's like, finally, as an adult, I was like, I deserve comfort. I'm making my own wages now. I'm paying taxes. I vote. I deserve to have warm feet.
Slippers.
I deserve some slippers.
Cozy.
I find though there's almost like the same debate with indoor shoes. Maybe not, but I had some friends over the other night and I was wearing my good old like purple Dollarama slides, whatever these are, super comfortable. Yeah. And my friends are like, can we just talk about what's on your feet? Like, what's going on here? And I was like, they're my inside shoe, like my inside shoe, my
shoe
slippers.
Shaming you.
My own shaming. Okay. Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah. Meanwhile, the other one spilled baba ganoush all down her leg like 10 minutes earlier. So
and they're all just pointing, laughing at you, and meanwhile she's got baba ganoush down her leg.
Yeah, still wiping it off, trying to divert the attention.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a direct pivot. There's no other way to do it, but and this is something where it's most likely none of you guys have heard about this or care, but so there's this game called Fortnite. I don't play it. I have no association with it. My younger brother has played it. I don't know if he does anymore. But they have these special events where instead of it being a third-person shooter game where you're trying to build forts and stuff and it's a big battle royale, they turn it into like a concert, an Ariana Grande concert they did on Fortnite. All these random events. And they recently had an MLK event where you can go to the Lincoln Square in Washington and then watch Martin Luther King Jr. give his I Had a Dream speech. But people are showing up to this thing with their Rick and Morty characters flossing while Martin Luther King talks about I Had a Dream. And it's like, what is that? This is so disrespectful to the history of civil rights. It's so ridiculous. Like, there's a time and a place for it. You are not the person who should be curating this. I understand this for educational purposes, but everyone's just making a meme out of this. It's so disrespectful. I don't know. And then I heard someone say like, this went from I Had a Dream to I'm having a Fortnightmare. And I'm like, that sounds about right. Yeah. That's just so disrespectful.
The day and age we live.
Yeah. Just knowing the obnoxious like Fortnite moves, they're like flailing everewhere and
just like hip thrusting while Martin Luther King talks about how humans deserve rights. It's just like, what is this?
They didn't come for Martin Luther King, they came for the flossing for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the scam. And they even, it was a thing, I think like his great granddaughter was there doing the dances. She's like, yeah, this is Martin Luther King Jr. was my grandfather, great grandfather, and then she's just her character is just doing the dance while he's doing his
like
speech.
a bunny costume.
Wow, I mean, history has just gone full circle, I guess. Like, yeah,
no, honestly, is that surprising anymore? It's like everything is with social media and like.
And just the weird evolution of capitalism too, I feel like, right? Because this was monetized, of course. I think the event was free, but then people pay to do the special dances or get the skins or whatever.
Yeah.
Show up for it all. Yeah. So
oh boy.
It's just the world we live in now, I guess. But I don't know why, out of all of the ridiculous things that have happened, that one stuck out to me, where I'm like, no, just stop.
Yeah.
Like, this has to stop. This is disrespectful. Like, there's some things that are just sacred, like stop flossing while he talks about human rights.
And sometimes those kind of like make me a little bit mad, because you go like through the comments or things like that, and like there's just so much of like so many people that are like supporting it. It's like you can't find the people that are like, no, this is wrong.
Right, sure, yeah.
There's so much of like, say for instance, there's so much of like a cult following behind it. It doesn't really matter what they put out; they'll just follow it regardless. And just jump on the,
Yeah.
Fortnite, they can literally do anything now because they have so much.
It's so popular.
They
people love it. Yeah.
On Twitch, they have it's like millions of people are just watching.
That's I think Minecraft was the most popular video game for a long time, but at this point, I gotta imagine Fortnite has passed it. But whenever you think of like the most popular video games ever in the universe, it's Fortnite and Minecraft, which happen to be kid games. So it's I guess there are more kids than other humans in the world.
Do you think kids are gonna remember these things, and if they actually hear that speech, they're like, wait, I did this on Fortnite, and like that's their first association to it.
Yes, and specifically, there's one thing that kind of got to me, which is there's two video games that I love that I kind of grew up with, and that's The Legend of Zelda on Nintendo and Halo on the Xbox. For whatever reason, they're completely different genres, but those two games lock me in and like make me want to buy the new consoles just to play those games. And recently, Fortnite, they're constantly adding new skins that you can like put on your character, and they came out with the Master Chief one, which is the main character from Halo. And so now the new Halo Infinite game is coming out this year, and I'm very excited for it. I'm acting like a kid. I don't know why I'm so excited for this thing, but you have people in the comment section of like the new Halo trailer saying it's the Fortnite guy. It's like that's how they associate. They're like they made a game off of that Fortnite skin. It's like no, this game has been around for 20 years. How dare you?
They don't know.
The new generation know nothing. Yeah, this is how anti-vaxxers came about. A new generation learned nothing from the past, and they just think that they were the first ones to ever come into existence. And it's like we can never learn anything, right? We're always relearning after every generation.
So much change, though. The people that are born, like when I was working in managing a restaurant, I couldn't believe that one of the boys that I was working with in the dish, he was the dishwasher, I think, and he's a really, really sweet guy. But I just couldn't believe that he was born in the year 2000.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I have a cousin who was born in the year 2000, and she's an adult. She's a 21-year-old just living her life. Yeah.
Like there was like so much has changed from just like even just like 5 years ago. Just so much technology wise. Where TikTok, like even me, like I don't even watch TikTok, have TikTok, and I see so many TikToks.
Yeah, well, I got myself a TikTok, but it took me a long time before I was comfortable enough doing it. But it is a thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Excuse me for 1 second because I accidentally spilled my drink. But keep talking. Don't mind me. Don't mind me.
Yeah,
it was a slosh. No, it was a slosh. So excuse me, just for a second.
Yeah.
I actually have another pivot. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, that's so sad that he spilled his drink. But continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I actually have another pivot. I see Joe's pivot. I raise him another one, even though he's gone. But right before hopping on here, I got a call, like I always do. From I don't know if you guys get them from these people, but a call from Air Duct Service Cleaning.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And I looked it up. I get them so frequently, and I'm like, I don't own a house. What is going on? How'd you get my number? Like what is happening? And I Googled it. I actually found it on Reddit. It's like a huge Canada-wide scam where they offer to like assess and fix your air ducts. So they'll like come into your home and like assess. They literally will just like look at your air ducts and be like, okay, we're gonna do this, this, and this. It'll charge you like the registration fee to start fixing everything, and that's how they scam you. And now I've known about this for years, but I still get like all these phone calls from them, and I don't know how they do it, but they like hotspot from different areas. So today it was Brampton. Some days it's like Mimico, like all these different areas. And then if you try to call the number back, it's out of service. So I don't know how they do that, but I'm trying to figure out a way to get them to stop. So I try to like I picked up today and I was like, hi, is this air duct service cleaning? And then he's like, hi, this is Sam from air duct service cleaning. But I'm trying to think of a way to like put them off and like freak them out. So I'm like, maybe I answer in like Halton Regional Police. How can I direct your call?
Yeah. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you guys have any ideas, let me know, because this has been like a 2.5 year struggle. They just have me on there.
Yeah, I hate those. Any sort of like phishing call is just so for sure. I used to get, when I changed my phone number, I was getting a lot of whoever had my phone number before me. I was getting a lot of that person's calls still. And just like from I think it was a man who had the phone before me, but I was getting his doctor would call a lot, or his doctor's receptionist or office or whatever would be called, like, hey, your medication's ready to pick up. It's not mine.
Like, tell me more.
Yeah, I would get them too, like random things where it's like, I guess it must have just be my number that was just from prior, something like that. No, but yeah, you definitely just need to be answering, Officer O'Neill, hi, how can I help you?
Yeah, exactly. And my friends are always like, just don't answer numbers you don't know. But it's tricky because I help, like, I'm my grandma's contact for like doctors and everything. So I have all kinds of numbers calling me anyway. So I can never tell them, like, is this for her or what? And then I pick up, I'm like, again.
Darn it.
Yeah.
Darn it. It's always the one time like you're not ready. It's like, to call me.
I know. And I was in Starbucks when it happened before this time too. And I was ready. I knew what I was going to say, but I'm like surrounded by all these people. And I'm like, I'm going to look insane if I'm like Halton Regional Police. And I'm sitting like in a Starbucks.
And in the background, you can just hear like the coffee machine steaming.
Like the indie music.
Okay, so I know I caught some of that. Something about callers. Scam callers, something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Air duct service cleaning specifically.
Oh, that's interesting. HVAC.
It's a Canada scam, yeah.
Yeah.
The most common one I get is always the you're under arrest. Please give us your credit card. And it's always like a voicemail that like sounds automatic, but it's just done in a poor way.
A warrant is out for your address. Like,
yeah, and I'm like, all right, I guess come get me. Yeah, by all means. Yeah, I fear nothing. Come get me. Yeah.
Well, there's something where it's like a text message. I can't really think of it, but it's like,
there's text messages to emails.
You have to put in like, or something like, I don't know. I can't. It's like we have to assess your social security something. I'm like, this is so like, how are people just giving away their like social insurance numbers to these like text messages with links on them that have like the weirdest letters and like the weirdest dots.
Anytime you see a link, don't click it. You know, it's that's what I've learned.
What? Yeah. Like you owe this or like something like there. Come. It's like what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a text one time saying like redeem 1709 from your UPS shipment thing. And I'm like, well, I didn't ship anything, so I guess this is a scam. I don't know. Yeah, but it's like if I had done that, then the timing would have been perfect.
Yeah,
for
the postal ones is a common one. Yeah, they can be like, oh, we have a package under your name, and you need to come and retrieve it and pay for it, or we'll send it back, and it makes you think, oh my gosh, I must have to
America. Yeah, you have to pay.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, that's the worst. That happened to me actually. Someone called me. I guess I'm sure a lot of us, or maybe not any of you, but a lot of people had to use like CERB when COVID hit and like no one was working.
Yeah.
I think I got it for like a month, like not very long. But I had someone call me he's like, I'm Eric from the government and I'm here to ask you about like your current claim. And I was like, I was in a mood. I was like, I don't have a current claim. I'm not sure what you're talking about. And he's like, oh really? Like Sydney O'Neill, like I have your information here. Like your account number is this. Like I was told to call you in case you didn't hear. Anyways, and he gave me like information. He proved it was me. Like it was actually someone real from the government. And I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, I'm so sorry to give you so much attitude. He's like, yeah, a lot of people have canceled theirs by accident. I just wanted to make sure you didn't mean to, in case you needed like the money for rent or things. I'm like,
Yeah.
Look at that. Just, yeah.
No, honestly,
it was fake.
Looking out for you. Yeah. You just dealt with so many people. You're jaded. Yeah.
One time my bank called me and was like, what's this payment? And I was like, it's my payment for my website.
You hit him back with the same energy.
Like,
awesome.
I was like,
because it's so much. What do you mean? Yeah. That's funny. That's awesome. That's the way to do it.
I completely get you, Sydney. Trust me.
That's so funny. That's like the classic tale of like your words bounce off me like rubber and hit you like glue. They give you that sass, you give it right back, and then see how they like it. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, oh guys, Eric from the government's calling me. Huh.
Yeah,
so
right.
Funny.
Should get a load of this guy. Must be his first day scamming. That's funny.
So to pivot. This is the word of the podcast today is pivot.
Yes.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one.
To just like a little closing of like, Joe, what some little activities and some things that you can give us, or like some info. I love you always have great info. Anything you got from New Brunswick that you can share with us?
Oh yeah, of course I found out fun facts about New Brunswick. You guys, come on. Okay, so and okay, so I'll start with a mini thing that isn't New Brunswick, but I just learned while in New Brunswick. So it's like unrelated, but I just learned it during my trip. Nova Scotia is Latin for New Scotland. I always thought Nova Scotia was a French word, so I was like, okay, but yeah, of course that makes sense. Yeah. So unrelated. Also, I thought Nova Scotia was the other French-speaking province or bilingual one. Turns out, no, I was in the bilingual one. New Brunswick is the one that's bilingual. Everything says, and all stop signs say stop F8. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And then anytime you go anywhere, they always say like, hello, bonjour. They like are required to say that like every cashier. Yeah. But then they say with no even attempt at an accent. They're just like, hello, bonjour. So here you go. And then everybody speaks English, but that's like how they do it. But yeah, so New Brunswick, you hear new and you think, okay, where's the old Brunswick? Turns out Brunswick is in Germany. How did the Germans wrangle their way into getting a province named after them? The heck if I know, but so the area that we were at, it was in Rothsay, but it's just north of St. John, which is like basically the go-to if you want to go to New Brunswick, right? There are other places, but St. John's where you want to be. And the fun fact about St. John is its founding happened before the country existed, and it was around the time of the American Revolution. People in like Boston, New York, Maine, all these areas, it wasn't a unanimous decision that they wanted to break away from Britain. There were people who were still loyalists to the empire, but they were in the minority. So they're like, all right, boys, let's find out who still wants to be part of the Queen's or the King's campaign or whoever it was at the time. And so they would kind of gather themselves up and go, okay, now like we got to get out of here because we're not really safe. Like the majority of the people here want the revolution. So we need to go start our own settlement or something and gang together. So they just went from the top of Maine, just a little scoot over to the next plot of land, which just so happened to be at the founding of New Brunswick. And then they started a settlement there. They started building some houses and they're like, this is the Queen's land or the King. Or I keep saying that because it's the Queen for us, but I think it was the King back 400 years ago. And they're like, this is the land of England and this is how it will be. So St. John is known as the Loyalist city. Cool. And it's one of the oldest cities in Canada. I used to always think Hamilton was the oldest, but I don't know if it's in competition with other cities. All I know is that St. John is like double the age of our country.
The oldest. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
That's so awesome. St. John, there you go. And then there's like all these like historical pictures depicting like the ravens, which are just like native to that area, just being little tricksters and like they'd steal like little things from people constantly. And like they're known in the area as basically being like the squirrels of St. John.
Wow.
Like, watch out for those ravens. Yeah, like they're cute, they're not dangerous, but they'll steal your food if you're not looking. So it's kind of funny. Yeah.
Does New Brunswick have a national dish?
Well, it's just they have seafood, everything. So lobster rolls are super popular. But a donair. I don't know if it's specifically to St. John or New Brunswick because I think Nova Scotia has the Halifax donair that everyone knows. But it's basically like an unfinished pita. You take steak, onions, tomatoes, the special sauce they grizzle in there, and then they wrap a pita in it. It's like, why not put it in the pita? That'd be so much cleaner. But they just do like a half wrap with it, and then you have to eat it. It's super slobbery. It's delicious if you're into steak and sauce and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, the Donair. And you can get Donair pizza, Donair flavored chips there. They got the whole shebang.
So
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. And you can get Donairs. There's a Halifax Donair in Burlington, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I just know that because my girlfriend's dad, was born and raised in St. John. He wanted some of that, and he's from Oakville, but he heard that there's one in Burlington. So he traveled to Burlington just to have it. He's like, this isn't as good as St. John, but it's something. God damn it, yeah.
It'll work.
It'll work. Yes, this will do for where I am in the mainland.
That's sweet, and that's really great. And again, how long did you go for again? Was it a little over?
I say a week, but it was really. I took the red eye Friday evening, like right after work. So I was there from the top of Sunday, I guess, because it had passed midnight. So Saturday to Saturday. So that's 8 days technically.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
And then a 16-hour road trip back. So I flew by myself because my girlfriend and everyone else was already there.
Drove back.
I showed up late, so I just kind of flew myself there. And then we all road tripped back, and it was a 16-hour road trip.
Wow.
And there wasn't much to see, unfortunately. The highway from that area, there's no mountains, there's no beautiful coastline.
Oh.
It's just forest and farmland, yeah. Which is fine. That's still beautiful. That's still what Canada looks like, but the exact same thing for 16 hours. It's a little dry. Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's like, wow, just 16 hours away. There you are, just hanging out.
But 10 of those hours were just you trying to get through Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's just a 6-hour drive, but yeah, it's a long time to get out of Toronto.
As soon as you hit like what?
Just
Oshawa,
I don't know. Ajax,
Oshawa, yeah,
Ajax.
The outer rim. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, how was the travel like for you guys getting to Kingston? Right?
Awful.
Awful. Yeah.
4 hours.
Toronto for you. That's Toronto. Yeah.
8 hours.
It's getting bigger, but the roads stay the same. Yeah. What are you gonna do? But yeah. So in the spirit of closing, Sydney, when was the last time you traveled? Do you plan on traveling anywhere? What sort of vacation ideas do you have in mind for yourself?
Yeah.
If any at all.
Plan for yourself before?
I'm trying to think. Traveling. The last thing I did like a kind of a round trip. I did like a program as like a French program in Quebec. You can actually go for free if you're like a university student, which I'd recommend. But yeah, I did in that like long haul. I went to Quebec and then I came back through and visited a friend in New Brunswick. And then
you've been in
Nova Scotia. Yeah, so I did it by myself.
Yeah.
So a lot of talking to myself. But other than that, honestly, because of COVID, I haven't even like began to plot things out and like what I do because I feel like the end isn't even in sight yet. Like I'm not even sure how traveling works. Like I know within Canada you need to have proof. My dad's in Nova Scotia right now, so he had to print something off and have it ready at the border.
I did that. I laminated it, but then they didn't ask me. So I guess
my brother
more lenient. Yeah.
He had to quarantine in the hotel for like a week and some. He had to stay in a hotel because he came from England. So it's just a lot. Everything is different, right? Like everybody. Well, I'm with you on that though. It's hard to kind of decipher just yet. And even I'm sure aren't we just getting more news tomorrow?
Exactly. We'll see.
So just waiting for it to all kind of like have an answer, so it's a little more clear what and how that works.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally understandable.
2022 will be our year,
There you go.
We told ourselves in 2020, all right, this year may have been canceled, but 2021 is 2020.
We're back. But no more Fortnight party.
No more Fortnite. Just stop the Fortnite and maybe the virus will end too, Just a thought. A hypothesis.
We got to check our windows. Fortnite are coming for us.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god. The flossers. They're gonna floss their way through our walls. Yeah. Come get us.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They're serious.
Yeah. Well, hey, Sydney, it's been great having you on. It's been a blast. I loved connecting with you. And I'm so happy for you. Everything that's just been going on with your life. So.
Oh, thanks.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Great. I feel like I've been. Oh, thank you. I feel like I've been sneaky because I've been listening to the podcast. So I have like little tidbits on each of you. I'm like, I feel like I've already been hanging out with you guys.
That's funny. Yeah, that's true. It's a parasocial relationship. You don't know us.
Yeah, I know. Honestly.
No, of course. But no, yeah, that's cool. That's nice. And then Aidan, as always, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Aidan. Yeah,
thanks for having me.
You are our favorite
from the other room.
Exactly. Yeah, you were right over there. Yeah. And then so as one final aside before saying goodnight to everyone at home, Sydney, this is totally just a you and me thing, but did you meet any of the other coworkers at any other point, like before the pandemic, or have you stayed in touch with anyone?
Oh, like any Shuko people? No,
Yeah,
I kind of
No.
No, I fell off with everyone. Not fell off, but I just feel like our paths didn't cross. So, and that was kind of that. So yeah, you're the only one.
No kidding. Wow. Okay, well there you go. Hey, all it takes is one, right? Just to keep the party alive. So
yeah, there we go.
Nice. Awesome.
Shoe party of 2.
Exactly. Hey, I mean, there are 2 shoes. That's how it works, right? Yeah.
That's a new podcast.
Yeah, the 2 shoes. Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm gonna trademark that.
Yeah. Exactly. We got to get on that now. Yeah.
Which of speak? Hey Joe, did you want something? Sorry.
No. It's stupid, but I was gonna say about the whole like, for whatever reason, when I made that spill and I was like, oh boy, now I got to clean all this up. I was thinking of that one line from 2005's Batman Begins, from A.K.A, where he says, "What do we do when we fall, Master Wayne? We learn to pick ourselves back up." That's right.
Well, you're saying this to your
I just remembered that line of dialogue from that movie as I'm trying to clean up all this Pepsi spill on the ground. Also, that's why carpets don't exist anymore, because of spills, right? So it could be worse if this was a carpet that I have, but hardwood for the win. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my going out line. Darren, what do you got?
She just killed me. That's a perfect way to guys. Sound off down below, comment, give us a little like, you know what it is. Please let us know if you like to wear your shoes inside. If you do, you're probably no haters, just do what you got to do. I'm a slippers person, but let us know. And Sydney, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you again.
Yo, shoes off for the
yeah. And I just want to say, like, 2 friendships too, right? Especially during this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 friendships.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
It is.
Bye. Bye.